Interesting article on Kirk Herbstreit, though, regarding Matt Rhule. He says, well, you're talking to a massive Matt Rhule fan. He goes, I'm a big believer in him and the culture that he creates. Herbstreit said, I'll be more surprised if he can't do it than if he can. They have resources. They have a history and tradition. Now, people say in 2023, they're in Lincoln, Nebraska, wants to go there and play. But if the right coach can create that energy, then I think you could bring recruits in.
Yep.
Interesting. However, I'm going to say this again.
I
want to see it on Saturdays, man.
Yep.
I want to see it on
Gotta
Saturdays.
see it on Saturdays.
Nick, I'll never forget. I was in St. Louis, and it was you. I think it was you, Rico, and it might have been Nate. Who was the famous announcer that was saying Frost was going to be
Tim Brando?
Tell us that story, man.
I mean, so Tim Brando, prior to Scott Frost even coaching a game in Nebraska, and I mean, there's he said some pretty outlandish quotes, I'm sure, but Tim Brando I'm trying. I want to find it.
I mean, Herbstreit was the same way.
Yeah. So here it is.
Yeah, he was.
This is on September 3rd, 2018.
Mm-hmm.
This is actually September 3rd. That might have been the Akron game, if I remember correctly. That might have been the day.
We did the history just on the Akron game. Just
that
last
got
week.
rained out.
Mm-hmm.
It's
so
around that time, right?
Yep.
September 3rd, 2018.
It's about that time.
Tim Brando said, quote, Scott Frost is built for success, and I'm going to tell you he will win multiple national titles at Nebraska. He will be competing for a Big Ten title within 3 years, and he could be the next generation's Nick Saban.
Why couldn't he have been right?
That's wild.
Read that again, man.
Scott Frost is built for success, and I'm going to tell you he will win multiple national titles at Nebraska. He will be competing for a Big Ten title within 3 years, and he could be the next generation's Nick Saban.
Yes. No.
Nope. Yeah, that's not great.
Oh, boy.
Well, it happens.
Dirty Tony and the boys, I know, man. I said 9 points, not 9 runs.
5, 6, 8, 3. Well, that didn't age well.
Oh, yeah. It definitely didn't age well. I think right now, and Kent, you're exactly right. I think Coach Bush would be a heck of a recruiter if he was on this staff. He's going to be a heck of a recruiter regardless what staff that Coach Bush will be on. He knows how to recruit. Some guys have it, some guys don't. Coach Bush definitely does have it.
And I like the way this staff is recruiting. With that kind of a younger type staff that he has went after, it seems like they've been able, to, I don't say hang out with the players, but they're able to have that relationship where they're able to communicate with them. I think I could be wrong, but today's kids are a little bit different than prior years, in the fact that it used to be like coach player, but almost in today's world, it's almost got to be coach player and then have a little bit of friendship with them. I think that helps a relationship. And it looks like that Coach Rhule, and you see Rhule and Knighton and McGuire and those guys where you're seeing pictures on Twitter come up and they're hanging out and saying go Big Red and stuff like that. And I think in today's world of kids, I think you need to have that. You need more than just coach player. You need a little bit more than that.
Yeah. Ralph, having that, that's something that Marcus Buford was mentioning too, being recruited, and that he can hang out on the phone and just talk to the staff. I mean, he says more than just football by itself. They just have conversations, deeper level. And right now, like I said, we talked about this last week, but it is trending to get him signed, which would be big. Trending, as we know, doesn't mean, it means something, but until they sign.
Not until pins to paper and on campus.
Exactly. Pen to paper and then on campus. We'll call that PPG. PPC. Pen, paper, campus.
Yep.
PPC. Pen, paper, campus. Because all these are huge right now because, first of all, you got to get the recruits here. You got to get them here. Let them see the facilities. Let them hear the sales pitch, because it is a sales pitch. Let them hear the sales pitch. Let them see the vision. Help them take part in the vision. Show where they fit in that vision and say, do you want to become a part of something special? Come here. Because that's what you got to sell, man. You have to sell the vision because we don't have anything to sell as far as cachet, as far as winning records. We just talked about that. Yeah. But you can sell, hey, I'm not responsible. what happened here before. And you know what? God bless those guys. But this is a new story.
Yep.
It's a new book. Do you want to come to be part of these pages of this new book that we're writing in Nebraska football history?
I mean, that is one of the benefits, I suppose, or positive sides that maybe the staff has.
Absolutely. You got to spin it, man.
Is you can spin it on, hey, we were not a part of that.
Yes.
We've changed a lot.
But you want to be part of this.
Exactly.
You can get with this or you can get with that. You can get with this or you can get with that. You can get with this or you can get with that, because since Nebraska is kind of fat.
Boom. There it is. Back when
little Tribe Called Quest.
He was in his rap group.
Yeah, I was Tribe Called Quest, man. You can get with this. You can get with that. And that's what they have to really sell, man. It's like, you know what, guys? This book is it's a blank. It's blank right now. These pages are blank. Yep. Do you want to be a part of the recruiting class that begins to rewrite Nebraska's football history to where it used to be? So I won't even say rewrite. Go back to the way things used to be at Nebraska as far as the winning tradition.
Yeah.
They have a chance to do that.
Yep. And then the coaching staff's also got to come out and be like, hey, yes, they don't want to. You want to show some that it's a rebuild, but on the other hand, you want to show these players that, hey, we can win right away. It's just a matter. We need you guys here. Mm-hmm. We can make this happen, and we can go. And I think they've done a good job of that. Where I thought, like, when Coach Rhule took the job, when he was at his opening press conference, he didn't really, expectation-wise, he didn't really say much. He's like, hey, we're gonna, build things. But it seems like the last couple of months, it's been more. I don't know. I get the feeling that I think him seeing what he has here and what's coming in, I think he has in his mind that, hey, we're going to win some games this year. Are we going to win like 9 or 10? Maybe not. But I think he thinks in his mind, 7, 8, 9, it's possible.
Absolutely.
And one last thing, one of their commits, actually, Willis McGahee, took an official visit to Central Florida. People were kind of freaking out a little bit about that. Turns out that prior to his commitment to Nebraska, he promised the coach at Central Florida that he was going to take an official visit. So he said, I wanted to keep my word.
Man of his word.
Nebraska's aware of it. I want to get back to Nebraska. We're still solid on Nebraska, all of that.
He actually tweeted out one of the recruits who was here this weekend saying, hey, let's get behind him and get this recruit. So he's recruiting for Nebraska. So no worries.
Yeah, he had a really cool, what's it called? He had a really cool quote on why he took an official visit. I want to find it if I can.
Find that.
Because Greg Smith of Inside Nebraska was the one that, here it is. So Greg Smith of Inside Nebraska talked to Willis McGahee yesterday and, said why. So here it is. He said, quote, before I committed to Nebraska, I gave my word to Coach Ingram that I would take an OV to UCF regardless of what happened. I wanted to honor my word to Coach. He's one of my favorite coaches in the country. Before I committed to Nebraska, I told Coach Rhule and staff that I was going to continue to communicate with UCF and take an official visit. Coach Rhule not only said he was fine with it, but encouraged me to visit wherever school I thought I might like. He told me he wants not only the best of the best, but the best of the best that truly want to be a Cornhusker. I like the fact that he wasn't pressuring me to do or not to do something. Made me feel like the kids that end up there will really want to be at Nebraska. Made me feel really good about my commitment there.
I love that.
I thought at first when you were reading it that it was going to say, when Coach Rhule's like, hey, I support it. Go down there. Can you add a guest? Maybe take me with you.
Yeah. No, but I mean, this is.
Can I go?
This is interesting.
Can I go?
I mean, he told me Matt Rhule told Willis McGahee that not only the best of the best, but the best of the best that truly want to be a Cornhusker. And so that's interesting. Especially in this transfer portal days, you hope that maybe mitigates the amount of numbers and amount of guys that just go in every year. If you have guys that want to stick around the program.
And it's relationships.
It is, man.
It'll come down to relationships, people sticking in programs.
And other players will see that too. Be like, you know what, man? When you're confident about something, you can say, sure.
Yeah.
Go ahead, check it out.
Yep.
Come on back. When you know you're establishing something special, if you've done, like you mentioned right before, if you can look yourself in the mirror as a coach and say, we gave everything we possibly could to get this recruit. If they decide to go someplace else, you can't say you didn't try.
Yeah.